This case study focuses on the secondary ticket market. The secondary ticket sales are selling previously purchased tickets but are not associated with the league or the event. The secondary market provides more opportunity for the primary market, such as season ticket holders and the teams, to redistribute tickets. Teams are developing partnerships with secondary ticket distributors, such as StubHub and Ticketmaster, to create a more secure exchange away from scalpers. Teams are now basing prices loosely on the secondary market instead of what they normally sold for. Our case focuses on the team's objective to sell out the stadium, since right now 94% of the tickets are for season ticket holders. The ticket operations department would like to make changes. However, the upper-level manager, Richard, is reluctant to make changes. This shows a difference away from the traditional market and towards trending markets.
In this study on secondary ticket sales, there are two methods on ticket pricing. The first method I will be talking about is the manner in which prices are set. Each and every team's goal in every organization wants to generate the most amount of revenue. However, this all depends on how the tickets are priced throughout the year. This allows teams to be salary cap driven, demanding the best players in each sport. Even though management wants to generate the most amount of revenue and ticket sales after each game, they still have to consider reasonable prices that fans would still purchase. Next, I will be talking about variable ticket pricing. When management wants to make extra revenue on high-demand games with popular teams, they often place premiums on these games, meaning they charge more for these teams playing for each matchup. We often see organizations like the NBA, MLB, collegiate teams, and many other professional sports teams making money off of premiums on such games. However, one professional sports organization that does not do this is the NFL. The NFL approves each team's pricing strategy on tickets each season. The NFL generates a great amount of revenue from sponsorships and advertisements and receives roughly $90 million each from the NFL each year. This is why we don't see the NFL using pricing strategies like the NBA or MLB. However, when we see with inflation in players' salaries increasing over the years, we would soon expect to see the NFL to switch over and not have approved pricing strategies. This would allow them to possibly sign many great players, as we have seen in other organizations like the NBA today.
So moving on with secondary market involvement, there are some additional benefits. So basically, sponsors would increase overall revenue. Sponsors would pay for signage, would pay for website banners to basically drive people to the websites. This would also decrease the percentage of the no-shows. Season ticket holders will be able to release their seats, sell them to people who want them, which this in turn would increase ancillary sales, concessionary sales, parking, what have you. As I said, it was a great retention tool for season ticket holders, so they're not just missing out on their games. It also, one big benefit that is overlooked is that it is seeing what the secondary market is doing. So the secondary market bases their prices off their tickets, off of what the consumers would want to pay. So obviously a ticket on the 50-yard line would go for a lot more than a ticket on the 20-yard line, 20 rows up. However, teams' traditional methods basically have them overlooking the benefits. In the past, teams have always taken the hit when the scalpers steal from the customer or consumer. Say the ticket is sold online for $200, and the consumer that purchases that ticket gets turned down at the game. They end up going to the box office and basically yelling at the box office, saying that it's their fault. So in the past, this has happened a lot, which you can see why teams would be so hesitant to get involved with the secondary market. At the end of the day, the owner makes the final decision, basically. Some teams are accepting for revenue reasons, which makes other teams upset. However, most teams are sticking to their traditional philosophies and not getting themselves involved. As time goes on, this might change. It might not. We'll just have to see.
Next, we will be talking about the secondary market involvement. The secondary market is one in which brokers buy tickets to a sporting event, usually en masse, and resell them at a premium. Secondary markets take away huge potential profits from organizations or teams, which are the direct sellers in this situation. Secondary market is usually referred to by organization leaders as glorified scalpers. Right now, teams and organizations have partnered with companies like Ticketmaster because that market can actually be controlled. Ticketmaster and other companies are companies that allow season ticket holders to legally resell tickets at face value, whereas the secondary market sells up to 3 times face value, which hurts the buyer and the initial seller. The benefits of Ticketmaster is that 90% of the profits go to the season ticket holder who is reselling the ticket, and the last 10% is split up between the reselling company, which is Ticketmaster in this case, and the actual team or organization. Right now, organizations are considering endorsing and partnering with the secondary market. The benefits to accepting the secondary market are the additional revenues to the teams, as they will get % yield of the premium prices that come with the secondary market, and a lower no-show rate to events by filling as many seats as possible with these secondary market sellers. Disadvantages to accepting the secondary market is the bad PR that will come with it. The secondary market will lead to a negative image if the organizations are associated with it. If owners choose not to partner with the secondary market, then they are restricting the market, and that will drive consumers towards open markets like StubHub and eBay anyway.